So a while back, I came across this tweet by like a game development person, I don't know, and it reads, "Back in the day, games were often based directly on fiction or reality. Submarine captain, city mayor, airline pilot, wizard adventurer, galactic conqueror, etc. Nowadays, almost all games are based on other games. We lost a lot of originality in that transition." And that made me think, like, a lot of game developers, especially coders, have that mindset of wanting to do things correctly, as it were. Like, they want a list of steps to follow to craft any given product. The thing is, if you're just following someone else's plan to the letter, you will not make anything original. And you must be original to be creative at all. Like, I see a lot of indie game projects that are clearly and openly derivative of other games, and that's fine to a point, but at some point you're just making reskinned Doom or reskinned Zelda or whatever, right? And you see trends in indie development where there's suddenly a lot of, say, boomer shooters, and some of them do something new and exciting, but a lot of them are, I think, too narrow in vision to be interesting, to me at least. Not naming names, not throwing shade, remember, but I think people approach genres in general with too narrow of a view. Like, the genre shouldn't be Doom-like, but rather FPS, and you go from there and see what you can do with the resources you have, right? And I understand that there's nostalgia and everything, but how far does that carry you, really? Nostalgia is a kind of cheap trick that you can pull, but it's never a feat of your own making. I mean, it's a meme. It's like the South Park thing. Like, remember this? Remember that? So I say take your homage and mash it up with something else. And now you're being creative. And by that I don't mean, what if Zelda was a girl? And more like, what if Zelda had a car? Or a gun? They make everything cooler. But you know, something that changes the actual game. That's one approach. You add something that's not in it and make a game mechanic out of it that meshes with the others or changes them completely. And again, I'm not saying don't take inspiration or even don't rip off game mechanics wholesale. I'm just saying create something new out of what you're taking, right? So as an aspiring indie developer, you may be proud of having completed any game project, and you should be, but that's your own personal journey, right? And the players don't know about that, and they may not care enough to spend any significant amount of time with your knockoff Outrun game. Or they might, if they're into that kind of thing. But they have to really be into that kind of thing. At any rate, remember, creating art isn't about you, it's about the artwork. And yes, art is a form of communication, but it's not between the artist and the audience, but rather between the artwork and the audience. Anyway, that's my opinion today, I guess. And you can have your own. Yeah, that's cool. You do you. Because, you know, there's a lot of different approaches to making games or making art in general, and you can find one that suits you. But, you know, you make games to be played by other people, and, you know, consider that or whatever. I don't know. Here's an ad for my game. Slasher's Keep is a first-person roguelike with a focus on melee combat and loot. It has randomly generated dungeons with orcs, mole rats, and other monsters to fight, lots of loot to find, and a drag-and-drop weapon crafting system. I made it all by my lonesome, and it's available for PC on Steam.